Hello, everyone. I know it's right about the starting time, but since there's only a few attendees, I'll give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll either have a nice, close-knit conversation here, or it'll be pretty short. But hang on just a couple of minutes. I'll jump back in, and then we'll get started. Thanks. Okay. I figured I'd get started. There's still not a lot of people, but enough to get started here. So if more people join, that's great. Couple of housekeeping things here. What the kind of the whole purpose of this call is just kind of allow you guys to ask any questions you might have, provide feedback, and then mainly hear what other people are asking, kind of how they're using the program. So I kind of always want to start these by kind of starting with a couple of points that I've come across recently that can continually get asked during the sales process. So in case you aren't familiar, my name is Jeff Hebrink. I am in my title is Customer Success Consultant. I'm more of in the sales role, so I've probably dealt with some of you, if not all of you, before you've gone live in the cloud. So again, housekeeping is if you have a question, you can either type it in the questions area, or if you'd like to ask it in person, there's an option to raise your hand. It's in that control panel for the webinar there. So again, you can raise your hand and then I'll unmute you. And if there's still only a few people, I may get to the point where I unmute everybody, but sometimes that gets a little noisy and confusing. So what I thought I would do here is get started on a couple of things that I wanted to cover, because I've run across people that weren't quite sure how to use some things in the program or weren't even aware that they're in there. So again, jump in at any point in time. Otherwise, let me get started here. So kind of the first thing that I wanted to cover is this key items report or widget here. And actually, I'm going to pop open a poll question here just to kind of give you, get an idea of who uses it, if you know what it is. And then if nobody's sure what it is, or if nobody uses it, maybe some people would like to. So, all right. So if you haven't answered, if you could answer, got a couple of people I don't think that have answered yet. All right. So let me close that. So again, not a lot of people here, but nobody uses the key items feature. And a few people don't even know what it is. So it's a good place to start here. So if you guys have not seen it, there, on your dashboard here, there is a key items widget, and it probably won't show anything if nobody is using it. But the purpose of this is, I'm going to hop around here into the configuration section. If you sell certain items or have certain packages that have certain items, you can label that item as a key item. So some things, you know, I've heard people use it for is, you know, inventory items or things that need to be delivered to rooms before they come. You know, chocolates or roses or champagne, or things that they have a limited amount of inventory for. So if some of you rent boats or you know, anything like that, you can label it as a key item. And so anytime you sell an item, add an item to a reservation, or it's part of a package, then it shows up in this key items widget, which by default, it shows this coming week. So what it does here is it shows today through next Tuesday. And then on this first little tab, it gives me a summary of how many of each item I'm going to need here or be selling over the next week. So in my demo database here, I have robes that are set up as a key item. I have champagne, box of chocolates. I have an example of somebody does kayaks, so they keep track of how many kayaks they're going to need. So it just kind of gives you an idea of each item coming up here. And then under the daily details, it gives me a little bit better breakdown of each day, how many of those items. So you'll see today, actually, I have 2 robes, 1 champagne, 2 boxes of chocolate. And then Thursday coming up here, I've got a kayak. And we can actually go into even a little bit further. If we click on that, it actually shows who that reservation is, invoice, what unit they're staying in, and kind of what it's part of. So you can see this is part of the romance package. Same thing here. So this is all Lyle's, but then we've got here another reservation that's just basically an add-on item of a box of chocolates. So a different unit there. And then this one, you know, kayak. So he's coming in on Thursday and staying in the Big Apple. So just a good summary there. There is also a key items report in the report section. I can print this, and then I can also select different date ranges. So if I wanted to see only a few days, I could move this date around. So that's kind of the concept of, again, as my poll indicated, nobody uses it. And maybe by a show of hands, if you could raise your hand, is it something that you guys just don't use it because you don't find valuable, or is it that you kind of weren't aware of it? Maybe just kind of raise your hand in there if it's just something you're not interested in using. Okay, I've got a couple of people there that just kind of aren't interested. How about just people? How about raise your hand if you just weren't aware of it and maybe have a use for it? Oh, I got a question on how to raise your hand. So in the control panel there's a little hand button, little hand icon that indicates on how to raise your or to raise your hand to ask a question. So, all right. So it looks like you figured out how to raise your hand. So, okay, great. So the majority of you actually maybe weren't aware of it and would like to use it. So, kind of let me know. I'm gonna unmute Marlis here just to see if you have a question here. Are you there, Marlis?
Yes, I'm here. I don't. Maybe I raised my hand wrong.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay, yeah, no. I tried to close hands. So, all right, I will mute you again there. Sorry. Okay, so I'm actually going to I'm gonna get rid of everybody's hand here, so then I know who's actually asking questions. So, okay, so that's great. Sounds like quite a few people will actually use that feature, or at least will find a use for that feature. So let me know again offline or later, or shoot me an email or give me a call if you kind of want to go through that again. But yeah, so it's kind of a useful thing. There's lots of different things you can use it for. So the other poll question I wanted to get an idea is gift certificates. So maybe if you could answer this for me. I've talked to several people recently that I guess they didn't even know that it was even an option in the cloud program to sell gift certificates, or maybe they don't even do it. But so just giving an indication of, do you sell gift certificates on your website? Okay, just a couple more moments here. Let everybody. All right, 100%. All right. So close to half the people do sell gift certificates. A third of the people don't. A few people sell them, but not using rezStream, and then looks like 1 or 2 people just wasn't even aware of it. So before I get into that, it looks like, David, do you have a question? I'm going to unmute you. David, can you hear me? Do you have a question? David, do you hear me? It looks like you have your hand raised. I just wanted to make sure you didn't have a question. All right. All right. So I'm going to cover the gift certificates very briefly, since it sounds like almost half of you use it. But this program, this cloud program, does have the option of selling gift certificates right from your website. So actually, if you go into the booking engine area, the first thing you would need to do is kind of set up a payment setting as a gift certificate, that you accept gift certificates. And then basically what you do is you go into the booking engine setting, go into the options here, and then you can toggle this sell gift certificates online to on, basically. And then here is the link that you or your web designer or anyone could put on your website. You could put a button or a heading called purchase a gift certificate, and then you would just point it to this URL. And again, here you could do a page title, how you want to label it, like gift card, gift certificate, however you want to do that. You can set a minimum value there, so they can't purchase like a $5 gift certificate, and then increments. So when they hit the up or down arrow, it kind of goes in the increment. So, and again, you can choose a confirmation letter, what they actually get, and then you can design an actual gift certificate that gets sent to them as well. So again, I'll go through this fairly briefly, and then terms and conditions, you set those up, and then a thank you message that they get up there. So to give you an example, this would be my fake website, and then I have a purchase a gift certificate link on there, and it brings it to this where they can choose an amount. You can see I can't go below 50 because I set that as my lowest amount there. And I choose up or down, it goes by 25. They fill in their information, they hit confirm and purchase, and then it actually comes right into the software, similar to how a reservation would come in. You'd get an email, and a reservation would come in, the recent reservations. Well, on the dashboard, we have a recent gift certificates area where you can see who recently purchased a gift certificate from your website. So again, for those people that aren't using it or didn't know it had it, it'd be something to consider. We always think that that's a good idea. It's kind of like free money a lot of times, because not sure the exact statistic, but quite a few people don't ever redeem them. So, all right, so that's the other thing I wanted to cover. And then the last question I wanted to make sure I covered, because I get it a lot, is around group reservations. So I wanted to get an idea here of group reservations. And it looks like Valoris, you got your hand raised. So as soon as this poll gets done here, I'll get you unmuted. So just want to see on the call today who does group reservations and whether it's worth going over. All right. So the majority of people do have group reservations, but very few. A third of you do it just maybe once or twice a month. Looks like maybe one of you does it once a week, and then one or two don't do it at all. So I may not even cover that unless you have a question about it. Please raise your hand. And Valoris, I'm going to unmute you. It looks like you have your hand raised here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes, we can. Yep.
Okay. I had a question about the gift certificate, if we can go back to that.
Sure, absolutely. Yep.
Because, you know, we're not quite set up yet to do that. So I'm just wondering how when they redeem those, does the system, how do we track those?
Yep. So when you, so the first thing, and I kind of skipped it because of the poll response, but I'll go through it. So the first thing you do is go into the configuration here under the payment settings.
Okay, I can't see what you're doing. It's still on the poll.
You can't see my screen?
It's my screen is still on the poll.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe, sorry about that.
There we go.
All right. Thank you for telling me. All right. So in the configuration area under gift certificates, basically, or payment types, you would add a payment type called gift certificate. And when you do that, when you add a payment type, there's this little toggle for gift certificate. And then what that does is it pops open another button here for gift certificates, and you put in kind of the next number that you want and whether you want to let it expire and what's your expiration date. Once you do that, it basically, I'm going to expand this. If you haven't enabled that, you probably don't even see this gift certificate section in your cloud program. But once you enable that, then you get a whole gift certificates section in your program. And this is actually where you can go to, and it shows you all of the gift certificates that were sold, with the date sold, how much it was, face value, redeemed, balance. So it does keep track of all of that. And then let's go in here and check somebody out. And then how you would, how a lot of people would redeem that is, let's say Jim is going to check out and he's going to add a payment. So we're going to check him out, and then he's going to use a gift certificate. So basically then it pops up this gift certificate, and we can search for a number. Like if he gives me a number, let's see, 1122, and you can see right on the screen here the balance it has left. So right on there you can see that. Or if he's redeeming a half of it, if he wants to say I want to only use 100 of it, you can do that. But basically you make a payment with the gift certificate, and then it redeems. It basically would go in there and redeem it. It would show a $0 balance on that gift certificate. So.
Perfect.
All right. So yeah, just if you need help with that, if you get in there and they're not figuring that out, feel free to give me a call or just call into support, and they can help with that too. So.
Thank you.
Yep. All right. Any other questions around group reservations? I figured since not many people do it, I wouldn't go through that. But if people have a question around that or want to ask a question around group reservations or anything else that I've covered, maybe raise your hand. See here, I did get a question. What does the guest receive on their end when they purchase a gift certificate? So when they purchase a gift certificate, I'm going to go back into the booking engine and go into the gift certificate options. So they get a letter, like a thank you letter for purchasing it, but then you would also, in your letters area in your configuration, you can actually make a gift certificate. So they could be emailed an actual certificate. Now, I don't know how good mine is in this demo. Let me just pull it up here, but so mine's are, you know, a really generic looking gift certificate that they would get. It just says gift certificate, but you could put a nice logo here, put your property name, and you know, you could put lines in here, different font, a unique font. So it would automatically put in the number, the date purchased, and expiration, the value, if there's any restrictions, and then notes on there. So they kind of get two different letters when they purchase it. So I hope that makes sense. Does that answer your question? All right. All right, perfect. Anybody else? I mean, those were the biggest things that I wanted to cover here, because I've been getting a lot of feedback or questions on those. Any other questions on that? I'm going to ask one more poll question here, because this is one I was going to cover last time and I didn't. Just curious on this. It looks like Valoris, maybe you got your hand raised again. So right when I do my polls, yes. So give me 1 second here. I want to see if anybody has any other units that are in there that really aren't rooms, space keepers, or again, sometimes people do boats or anything like that. So. All right, almost everybody's answered. I'll give you just 10 more seconds here. Okay. So a third of you do have units that are not actual rooms, and 2/3 of you don't. So that was more of an informational thing, because sometimes people don't put it in there because they think we're going to charge for that or anything like that, because we do charge per unit. But don't worry about that. If there's a reason to put a unit in there, go ahead and do that. Valoris, you got your hand raised again, I think. Do you have another question, Valoris? Okay.
Yeah, you know, we do use the group booking fairly frequently. And that's when, like, we have a guest who books like 3 or 4 or 5 rooms at a time, correct?
Yes, correct. Yep.
Well, we do use that quite frequently, and I know that Steffi and I have had questions on that. I just can't quite remember what they are.
Sure.
I want to say it had to do with when we sent them the confirmation or something, that it wasn't coming out right.
Okay.
I don't. Go ahead. Maybe
I'd
you
be
could.
Curious. Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious to know how you are. Or it's kind of without knowing the details, I'm not even sure where to go from there. But the confirmation, for sure, it should list your units. So maybe you want it a little different way, or we could help design that.
Yeah.
So if it's kind of around the letter design, we could go. Maybe that would be something to call into support, or shoot me an email, or give me a call when you know.
Okay.
More specifically what question you had there.
I'll send a question when I know specifically what it is. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Just I'm not even sure where to start on that, but absolutely, and yeah, without knowing exactly what you think it's missing, or how you want it modified, we can take that offline. So.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, so I do have a couple of other questions here that were submitted. When you opened Jim Scallon, you show items. How did you get them in their profile? Susie, I'm going to unmute you if that's okay, if you can talk. I wanted to maybe get clarification. Are you available to talk, Susie?
I am.
Okay. What?
When you opened up his profile, when you had him on the dashboard, it showed gluten-free and a bunch of other things. There we go. Gluten-free, allergies. How did those show up in there?
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. The tags always seem to come up and prompt people. So this is the tag features. I'm not sure if you use them in any other areas of the program, but in the configuration area, you have the option to configure tags, and we have people tags and reservation tags. So people tags would be something you kind of want to tag the person with that always follows them from here on out. So, things like allergies, Jim Scallon has allergies, or he's a bad guest, or he always eats gluten-free. So the next time he might make a reservation, you can see that. Oh, hey, you're still gluten-free? We'll make sure to get that menu available to you. So, and then kind of reservation tags are something that's just about the one reservation. So the people tags will always stick with the person. The reservation tags are more specific to the reservation. So things like he wants a DVD player in his room today, or he's going to be an early arrival for this reservation. Maybe they want extra pillows for this reservation. So things like that you would want to know about the reservation. And then when you make those, you can label them as important or not. So when you label them as important, that's when they start showing up in arrivals reports or other housekeeping reports. Anything that was tagged, either person or reservation, that's tagged as important is going to show up in those reports. And that's kind of where that comes into play. So you can also see that there is a tag little symbol here on those people with important tags. So anytime I open that up, it's going to just have their tags. And you'll see that this is on the row of the person. So this is the person, Charlie, and these are his important tags there. Jim had some, no, that's just all person tags too. So, but you can kind of see that they show up right there. And similarly, it shows up, that little tag symbol shows up right on the occupancy map as well for anybody that's tagged with something important. And again, when you click on those reservations, you can kind of see the person tags are down here. If there was any, I'll just tag somebody here. If there's any reservation tags, they show up here. So again, it's kind of if they're a reservation tag or person tag. Does that make sense?
Yes, so that would actually be easier to use than using the key tags.
The key items. Yeah, so it depends. The key items are more for they're more for like an item that maybe you don't always have roses on hand, but somebody wants them and they want them for the weekend. That's kind of more of a key item that just shows you right on the dashboard of just kind of items I'm gonna need here. And then the tags are more, each reservation, it's not necessarily an item, but it's gluten-free that I need to be aware of. Because you're not really going to add a POS item for a gluten-free or a POS item for extra pillows. So key items are more for things that you're going to sell to the person versus tags are just things that you kind of want to be alerted of for them.
Okay.
So does that make sense?
Yep.
All right. Any other questions? here. Looks like Jim, you rent parking spots on the as units. How's that working, Jim? Are you available to speak? You put parking spots right on the occupancy map?
Yes.
Okay. And is that working for you? Is that something that you find useful? Would you? Okay.
Yes, very useful.
Okay. And so when you make a reservation, you also assign them a room and then a parking spot as well.
Yeah, some people don't park, so it's kind of
right. Okay.
as needed.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Valoris, do you have another question?
Yes. Can you go over how do you change the colors, like on the occupancy map when things are different colors?
Absolutely. So, yeah. So some of you, a lot, if not all of you, you probably have red, yellow, and green, and it's color coded by payment status. Red is no payment, yellow is partial payment, and in most people's cases, green would be full payment. I am red-green colorblind, so in my demo database, I had to change that because I could not distinguish in any way, shape, or form the difference between red and green. So this little gear icon right on the top of the calendar there pops into a settings. So the first one is colors. You do have the option of how you want to view the color coding, whether you want to view it as an in-house status, and what that means, it's going to show colors based upon whether they're checked in, checked out, a future reservation, no show, and canceled reservations just wouldn't appear in there. But and how you change them is you just click on this. So what I did for full payment, I clicked on this little ink icon, and then I can pick any shade of any color here. You just kind of click in that area to pick a color that you guys, would be easy to remember for you guys. So that's kind of how to change the colors. Is that kind of what you were asking?
Is the fields on those colors, is it possible to change what the field stands for our own personal settings? Like instead of being full payment, partial payment, no payment, can that part be changed?
Not yet. That is one piece of feedback we hear a decent amount, because actually in our older desktop platform, we allowed you to just kind of choose a color. You could just right click on a reservation and just kind of change the color of it to anything. So I know that's something that is on our list for future releases, is to kind of make some custom colors here. So maybe you could tag a reservation that you wanted to be alerted of, or something, maybe a late arrival color or something like that. But yeah, is that kind of what is up?
Yeah, a big one for us that would make it easier for us is if we could mark it as confirmed because we call all of our guests every week to confirm them, and it would just make it much easier if we could mark it some way that's easy to see.
Okay. So confirmed. I'm just gonna write this down, and I'm gonna submit it again. I know it's already on our list, but I usually take feedback during these things and then blast them again with feedback that I'm hearing, just to at least give them a little refresher on some things. So
yeah, or just a customizable field of some kind, that you could make it, because that full payment, partial payment thing doesn't really mean anything to us, but our own customizable field of confirmed or called would be really helpful to us.
Sure. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Again, I know that that's something that we do have on the list, and I'm not sure the exact priority on it, but I do send all feedback that I get on these things to the development team right afterwards. So
right.
So yeah, absolutely. And so on that subject, you guys call everybody to confirm. Do you guys do you use the automated emails to send pre-arrival emails, or do you prefer to talk to them in person?
Yes, we do, but I mean, our habit previously with our old softwares, we didn't have that option, so we just called everybody. And since
Okay.
we're not fully functional yet,
Okay.
yes, we are using the email setting and we will use it more, but we like to call our guests just to confirm, because we just find that it really catches a lot of people who say, oh, I thought I canceled that, or, they don't pay attention to the emails.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's one of the big things for the automated emails is people sometimes they'll send a couple of pre-arrivals. They'll send one out, a couple of weeks before, and then again 3 days before. Hey, just really looking forward to your stay on Saturday. Make sure you call us if you can't make it, or as a reminder, click here to check the weather or something. Just as an excuse to make contact with them and alert them once again that they're supposed to be coming. So
yeah, we're getting all of the emails in the system at this point, because we didn't have emails for everyone before. So now we're working on getting that set up to where we can do that.
Oh, sure. Yep. Yep. Okay, great. So I will take that feedback of custom colors and custom fields for what they mean back to development after this.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. I have a question here. Many guests are not reading emails, send texts. So, yeah, good point. Text seems to be the wave of the future. Doesn't seem to be slowing down. There's no way to do a text message necessarily from the program. I do, however, I know I was actually, for those of you that don't know my background, I actually worked for Guest Tracker way back when, which was a reservation software back in the late 90s. I left that and I actually went into the wireless world. So I kind of dealt with, text messaging and wireless side of the house. So I've brought this up a couple of times. I think maybe one or two people have implemented this or at least thought about it. So every phone for every wireless company has a quote unquote email address that will basically get converted into a text message. So for example, you could put in their address. I'm not sure if I have any examples. I think I was showing this to somebody. Yeah, so right here, I put in an email address of their phone number. In this scenario, this is Verizon's address. So if I email them anything, so I could actually put this into their main email field, and anything that I send here is actually going to be sent via text. They're going to receive it as text at this phone number. So I know there's a website out there. You can do a Google search for the email to text for wireless carriers. Again, that's a big workaround at this point, but I do know that is on our agenda as well, to kind of try to get some sort of text implementation. So I think there's some plugins and whatnot we could do, but for what it's worth, that is something to consider. If somebody says, I don't have an email, but I don't read my email at all, you need to send all communication via text. You could get their carrier and their phone number and then put that in as their email address. So, let me go through the list of questions here. James, it says you're currently using Mighty Text. I'm just going to write that down. I'll follow up with you on that one. When will you have the ability to attach a PDF to an email, such as a map? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure we ever necessarily will. I can verify that. I know there's reasons not to attach items like that. For one thing, a lot of times things with attachments automatically go into a lot of people's junk folders, viewed as spam, especially if you've never communicated with them before. They don't want any sort of scamming or phishing or anything going on. So what we always recommend is to create that PDF kind of in maybe even a hidden page on your website that's not even on a menu item, but you can attach, you know, for directions to our property, click here, and that basically links them to a page on your website that gives them a map, or, you know, something in that type of format. So that's kind of the quote unquote workaround. I will, I'm going to write that down to get back to you on that question, or to at least give you a reason, more reasons why we didn't so far, and if that's even on our list, or whether we're going to kind of keep it that way. So yeah, again, no real great answers on that as to when. Maybe I will follow up. Maybe they'll tell me, oh yeah, we're going to do that, and then I'll be able to follow up with you on that. So, all right. What else? Any other questions any other questions? Raise your hand, or just questions you want to ask. Let's see here. Looks like Jim, hold on a second. Jim, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to know if there are any plans to allow manually inputted reservations to show up on the dashboard.
Manually inputted reservations.
So
like somebody calls
or somebody calls or somebody emails, instead of booking off the booking engine or booking.com or through a channel manager, those are automatically showing up under recent reservations.
Yeah, so we have that ability right now. So that came out with an update a little while ago. So you'll see, and you may want to check your settings. So this is your dashboard setting. So you can set some defaults here. So my recent reservations, here's my default sources. So I want to show reservations that came in from the OTAs or booking engine, or things that I've entered, so property management system, as well as any cancels. So I can default it to only doing, you know, my booking engine, or I can say I want to see my booking engine and things that I've manually entered, or I want to just see everything. So once you have that set up, then it's actually going to show recent reservations that were, you can see this one is input. I input it right into the system, versus they'd have the little globe icon if they were from your own website, or the, you know, booking.com, or my allocator symbol for that. So did you know all of that, or are you referring to something else? Or
No, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay, yeah, so you can do that right now if you just enable that setting on there. Even if you don't enable it, you can just click on here. Even if you didn't have it as a default, you can just click on there and pop it in there. But if you go into the actual settings area, then they just will always show up. So hope that helped. Sounds like it. Probably something you've been looking for a while. So I believe we probably, or at least tried to announce that. If for those of you that are newer or maybe not aware, this little bell icon will kind of go through some of the new features that we've added. And so you can kind of go in and see some of the new features, like we were able to move around the stuff on the dashboard. I can't remember when exactly we put that feature in there, but in case we didn't, I apologize for maybe not getting that out there. Otherwise, that's kind of where to go to check for new things that we've added recently. So, how about anything else? I've answered all the questions that were written in. Anybody have any other last minute questions? We're inching up on 45 minutes. If you have any other questions, raise your hand. All right, Jim, you had another question?
Any update on your report generator?
The last I know is I think they've picked what we're going to be using, and they've kind of started the proof of concept. So they're still, what I'm told is we're still, really trying to get that done by the end of the year. That's kind of our, we have one last thing we're gonna to finalize here this week as far as the new feature goes, some extended rates where you can have like true weekly rates or maybe a 3-day rate in there that's one lump sum. So we're finishing that. And then I know because part of the development team, they're actually working on their report side of the house. So they haven't left that, and then they're going to start dedicating their time to that. So I know that's not a great answer, but I do know that that's kind of priority number one as soon as we get this release here this week. So I know they sort of got sidetracked a little bit, and I hope everybody noticed the speed improvements for those people that were dealing with some slower programs here when we got that resolved a couple of weeks ago. So I hope everybody is seeing that improvement, but that we sort of got sidetracked to try to solve those issues as well.
One other side question.
Yep.
Any information or plans in putting in any type of dynamic pricing?
And what do you? So I get some questions on dynamic pricing. Give me an example, or what do you want to see?
Well, right now I'm using Beyond Pricing with HomeAway and VRBO, and they price out 365 days in the future every single night. I would like to be able to import that or allow them access to the PMS software to take advantage of that.
So they just they'll tick on another day to your rates. Tomorrow, then they go out another 3.
So they look forward 365 days every single day, and they reprice every single day for the next year based on supply, demand, events, what have you. So my rates fluctuate on a daily basis.
For your booking engine and for phone call reservations, yeah.
Well, for HomeAway and VRBO, they have access to that. They don't have access.
Okay.
They don't have access to rezStream's booking engine, and I didn't know if there was a way to back end it through my allocator or.
Yeah, not really. I do know now. Does that program? Do they look at your competitors and everything else? Do they
look at everything
through that?
They know what's coming down the pike as far as special events. I'm in Chicago. They know what all the big conventions are. They know what all the big baseball games are, and they can look forward and see what has been happening with hotels and other vacation rentals in the area and adjust my prices accordingly.
Right. Yeah, so I can tell you, I know there's been chat of that, or especially with our marketing department. I think they actually brought it up with us as well. So I know that it's been discussed. I know that it for sure won't take precedence over the reports. Once they get their reports, kind of, for those of you that don't know, we're kind of making it to we're kind of changing the way we do reports. So we're going to be able to make fully customizable reports, kind of choose what you want to see and when you want to see it, and a lot more beefy reporting structure. But so I know it's not going to take precedence over that. So I will send this in again. Again, I know that they've chatted about it, or at least it's been brought up. I just don't know. You know, I can tell it's probably not on our short-term radar at this point. But it's called Beyond Pricing is what you use?
That's what I use, right?
Okay. So I'll give them that as the example. When I submit the feedback, I'll use that as the example. And again, our marketing department may have already provided that feedback, but I'll do it again. All right, Valoris, I think you had your hand raised for longer. You're unmuted. What question do you have?
Yeah. When reservations come in, like on the dashboard where it shows recent reservations and how they've come in on the booking engine or however, does it automatically enter the source? So say something comes in through the booking engine, it automatically adds that and we don't have to click that button?
Yeah, it puts it, when it'll automatically put it, let's see here, under prefixes. Why am I drawing a blank here? Confirmation number prefixes. So you'll easily be able to distinguish where they came from. Because you can, like for mine, if I enter them myself, if somebody calls me and I enter it, my confirmation is going to start with a PMS. If they come from my website, it's going to be BE. If they come from a mobile booking engine, that's MBE, and then so on and so forth. So by that, it will automatically decipher that right on the dashboard. Is that kind of what you mean, or?
Okay. Well, kind of, yeah. When we're making the reservation, it's been kind of confusing for us so far because there's the source that follows the guest and then there's the source that follows the reservation.
Okay, yep.
I find it kind of redundant and everybody's like, well, do I click it here? Do I click it there? And I want to be able to track where my reservations are coming from. So I just didn't want it to be coming in 3 different places, and what's the easiest way to track?
Yeah, so under the report, so without filling out any of those fields, like the source or anything like that, it's automatically going to assign it a channel. And by channel, we mean that, you entered it on the software, or it came in from my website, or it came in from booking.com, or it came in from Expedia on my allocator, and so on and so forth, without even you filling out anything. And then how you do that is you go to the report section and you run the revenue by channel. And that will give you a breakdown of how much money from each channel it's coming from. Now my demo, I don't have a way to do booking.com or Expedia or anything like that, but it would break those down as line items as well.
Okay.
So
is there a way to delete that source or delete the field to where there's not so much stuff to see when they're making a reservation?
So you're yeah, let's go through the process of making a reservation, then you can just kind of show me
okay,
where so you get to this point and I'm asked like who's coming to stay. So we'll choose somebody that's already in my database. So you just don't, is it like, I mean, does it get in your way, or do you not want to
there's too much confusion for our desk clerks when they see like that list you're on now, source of contact, what list date, children's table set, all that stuff. We don't need their eye color for certain or allergies or any of that.
Well, we don't have that. But
Yeah, you won't have that. All of the only thing that appears if you don't enter this other stuff, the only thing is source of contact.
and the other
All of this stuff is just you can put in custom fields to track certain things.
And I tried to delete some of those things that were on there, and I couldn't figure out how to delete them either. But
So you made some custom fields, and now you want to
Stephanie may
remove them?
have made them, and I'm not really sure how they got there. I'm guessing maybe Stephanie made them, and it's just
Okay.
too much stuff. So,
Let me ask on that if there's a way.
so we can
remove that.
go in and delete some of those things under notes and details. There's a way to do that.
Like delete the actual field?
Yes.
Yeah, so not sure. Let me see here if there's a way to actually delete that. Yep. So I can actually go into the configuration area under custom fields and dates. So if I want to get rid of that eye color one, I can click on that and just hit delete up here.
Okay.
And
I was
it's gonna
thinking
say, are
when
you sure you want to delete it?
when I tried that, I didn't have a delete button, which I thought was kind of strange, but maybe.
That may have been the
certain things in the configuration can be deleted and certain things can't.
Okay.
And again, the development kind of knows reasons behind that. Like if they delete something, they're not like it might have a negative effect on the database.
Right. Okay.
For now, there's certain things, and I know that they're adjusting that. When we come out with new releases, I know that you couldn't always delete those custom fields. That's kind of why I did it before I answered.
Mhm.
But they've added that. So again, you would just kind of click on it, and then you see a little delete feature.
Okay.
So then the next time I go in to make that reservation from the calendar, I don't see that eye color thing. Or I shouldn't at least, so hopefully that works. Yeah, so now my eye color doesn't show up here. But the source of contact will show up. Again, if you just leave it as one, it would just be just one field that you don't have. You absolutely don't have to fill that out. But
Right. So there's all that. There's that information there, and then when you make the reservations, and it asks us again. Yeah, it's all under there again. It seems kind of redundant, I guess.
Yeah. So the reason is we like to track like how the person got because the person might have inquired because they saw your ad in the newspaper, and you kind of always want to know that, right? I mean, you gained this Amory Francesca from the newspaper, but the reason for stay this time is my anniversary, or the reason for the source of contact for this reservation was referral or certain things. So those were kind of the two consistent fields. And again, you won't see any of this stuff unless you've programmed in a bunch of custom fields. But those are the two kind of consistent fields that pretty much almost all the time people ask us for. It's like, gosh, when we do reporting, we want to know, because otherwise, if we don't know, then we don't really know. We're dishing in $1,000 every 6 months for the newspaper. Are we getting anything out of that, or are we not? So it's kind of a way to. And again, if you don't want to track that, if you basically get to this point and you don't need to track any of this stuff, your reservation is done. You just send them their letter. So it doesn't force you to go over to this right-hand side and click on that.
Yeah, the source of contact, that was the one that was confusing a lot of people. And now that we know that there's a different way to keep track of it, we don't have to try and write in a source of contact for every customer, whether it was, from a booking engine or from the phone or whatever it is. Now we know that source of contact is useless unless we're trying to keep track of something else. So.
Yeah, if you were basically only using it to track like how this reservation came into you, then yeah, absolutely, because that's automatically done. But if you wanted, if you wanted to distinguish, it, okay, I know I put it in, I took a phone call for that, but now out of all my phone calls, I want to know why they did that, so I can break it down any further by doing, revenue by source of contact. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Some specific source of advertising or something, which is
right. Yep. Yep. So maybe you ran a Groupon special or something. So you might want to track that. If people say, "Oh, I saw you on Groupon," you can track that. So where then you can analyze those results of, I spent $500 and I got back $2,000. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to do that again. Or if I spent $1,000 and got one reservation for $200, I'm not going to do that again. So.
Okay, I think that answers that.
Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, it's been an hour. I'm gonna stay on here, so I won't take any offense if people have to leave. But Susie, do you have a question?
Yeah, and this is more global and somewhat not necessarily on the program itself. With the overtaking of VRBO and HomeAway in this market, since we are mostly, I'm guessing, small property managers, is there any thought to using the platform of your booking engine to help globally trying to put out these properties all over the country?
You mean basically just almost creating our own in like VRBO type scenario where we pool everybody that's using our software? Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no, I've actually thought of that on occasion. It's not something we're actively pursuing because to build something would require not only programming, and maybe the programming would probably be the easy part. It's how do you drive with their types of budgets, hundreds of millions of dollars that they're spending to drive people to their websites, how would you gain access to that? But so, and I mean, I guess the short answer is no. I mean, we're not going to do that, at least in the near future. But yeah, we've shared ideas about that, but it's probably, it's not something that's in our realm at this point. But it's tough, as you guys find too. I'm sure a lot of people find it's tough to compete against those OTAs, and the best way to do it is, if you're going to spend some money, maybe do some pay-per-click Google, or just kind of increase your SEO, search engine optimization, to really drive people to your website. So when they're searching for lodging in your town or city or region, you optimize your site so that they hit your website, so you're not having to pay commissions or anything like that. So, and we can certainly help with that. We can do kind of analysis for you guys on websites, things like that too. So reach out to me if you'd like we do a free marketing analysis for people, free website analysis. So something that we offer, but yeah, it's not really in our wheelhouse at this point. So let's see here. Susie, you also asked about the notes follow the guest, another field that follows a reservation.
You answered that when you showed the second
perfect.
source.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I've got just a few people left here. Any other questions? I'm sorry. Otherwise, I appreciate everyone's time. I hope you find it valuable. Please reach out to me and let me know if you have ideas. We're going to try to do this think it's the second Tuesday of every month. So we'll try to ask for questions ahead of time if you have certain topics. I know we'll be coming out with a couple of new things here before then, so we can cover those again. Otherwise, just again, feel free to reach out to me with any questions. I'll pass along any feedback that I've collected here. So thank you again, everybody, and take care.